For somebody to have leprosy was regarded as the judgment of God. And in this case, it was in fact the judgment of God. So it was one of the few kings that received the judgment of God. And that is something that you and I need to think about. Like Ijoma said, he started out as a very good king. And as I read his story, my heart just felt, God, I want to finish well. I want to finish strong. Because he was in contrast to his father. He did a better job. He was young when he became king, and he served the Lord for many years. He served very well. And he was successful, very, 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 very successful as a king. He built a military machinery for the country, for the nation, and the defenses of the nation were strong, and he was very successful. And as the success increased, he got proud, and he forgot. He blurred the lines. In Israel, God drew a line. You cannot be a king and a priest. In fact, there's only one person. There was only one king and a priest. And who is he? Jesus. He's the only one who was both king and a priest. So this was a king, and he went on to become a priest. And that was an abomination to God. And God struck him with leprosy. Never got a chance to repent and say, I'm sorry. That is the God we're serving. So as we're preparing to go on this mission trip, we need to guard our hearts. We need to prepare ourselves. We need to know that we're serving a holy God. We're not serving a trivial God. But going back, so all of this was playing out in a society at the time that Isaiah heard the call of God. And one thing that he said that made such a remarkable difference was that he said, he was referring to the king. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. And he saw the king. So there's the king, and then there is the king. He saw the Lord. And that's what I want to encourage us to press in. Because, yes, God has started stirring up our hearts. He has started doing something in us to prepare us for this trip. But we need to see him. Because the call to go comes out of our revelation, our understanding of who he is. And it's when we see him for what he is worth that we're willing to make all the sacrifice. And we're not just going to go on this trip and then put a check mark on it and say, I've done that, I've been there. It's going to be a lifetime commitment to align our lives, our priorities with his purpose. And what did we see here was his purpose? To take the good news to the ends of the earth, to people who have not heard, people who don't have an opportunity to know what you and I know. Today you have a Bible, and even if you don't have the Bible, like this turn one out, you have a Bible on your iPhone or your BlackBerry. And we have Bibles everywhere. There are things that you take for granted. Some people cannot understand the simple concept of forgiveness. There's no way you can explain to them that their sins can be forgiven and they will understand. Because they never grew up with that understanding. And for kids who are raised up in Christian families, you have no idea how blessed you are. So today, I'd like for us to press in and ask the Lord, show me your glory. And you know, it's so interesting. If you read what it says there, it said, look at it carefully. I saw the Lord sitting on the throne, high and lifted up. Isaiah saw the Lord in that year that King Uzziah died. And he described all the other things that he saw. And then he heard what those beings were saying when they were screaming, holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. And what did they say next? The whole earth is full of his glory. So when we say you need to see, when we say I need to see the glory of the Lord, it's not necessarily seeing him on the throne. If you look around the earth that he has created, you will see the glory of the Lord. The question is, are you willing to look? Are you willing to look? So as we prepare, as we go on this trip, let's open our eyes. Let's see the glory of the Lord. in Togo, in Uganda, in Sudan, you will see the glory of the Lord if you look well enough. So you don't have to wait on the revelation we're asking for. Doesn't have to come from a dream or from some vision that you're awake and you're seeing an old man with beards all the way down to the ground. I say that is God. No, it doesn't work that way. God will reveal his glory to you. You may just look into the eyes of a child that is in pain, a child that doesn't have the things that you take for granted. And if you look into the eyes of that child, who knows, you might see the glory of the Lord. Or you may look into a woman that's been abandoned by her husband, she has nothing, she's just barely struggling. And we saw many of them. In fact, I saw this photo we have here. It's such a painful photo for me to see each time. You see how beautiful those girls are. Very, very beautiful girls. Their mother is trying to raise them